4K codec that it uses?
Motion JPEG MOV. So it's an
Okay.
MOV, so Mac and PC can play it right away.
Okay.
The compression wrapper is using is the motion JPEG or the codec.
Okay.
So like H.264, H.265, VP9, there's so many codecs. The one that our 4K is using is motion JPEG, which is not as compressed, but not as large, so that most computers can handle the playback. But again, if you don't have a dedicated video card, like for example, I have a MacBook Pro from 2015, and it has an Intel Iris, that sucker cannot handle my 4K. It will totally skip.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So does Adobe support it right now?
Yes, Premiere Pro totally, it's the same codec as the other cameras. So Premiere
Perfect.
Pro, you can just throw and toss it in and it'll start playing.
Okay, and is there a time limit on the 4K video within the camera?
29.59.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah.
So 29 minutes and 59 seconds if you have a big enough card to handle that much data. At 4K, you're gonna fill up the card before you get to 30.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are the different, does it take one type of 4K or are there different?
Only one type of 4K DCI, so it's full 4K. It's not the Quad HD. So a
Okay.
lot of other competitors and other cameras, like for example, the GH4. GH4 for a while, Panasonic years ago had 4K this and that, but it was heavily compressed.
Right.
You know, hence I knew it was compressed, one, file size, and two, it could play on my MacBook, like
Right.
smoothly.
Right.
Like, wow, this is a very small data file. Like it's 4K, compressed 4K. So ours, we don't compress it as much, but again, you better have a processor to handle it, right? So the DCI full 4K, not the Quad HD. So it's that more narrow 4K maximum resolution.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Can it have the two dual batteries?
No. Only you're gonna have a grip. You have a battery grip, so you can have the dual batteries. But
It'll be a new battery.
yes. But same battery though.
Okay.
So if you have all the 5D batteries, don't throw them away. The 5D Mark III is gonna still work on the 4.
And what about the CPU? Just one?
No, actually we have multiple D6s Plus and then the 6. And then we have other microprocessors that help you with the optimizer and everything else.
And how? Oh no, I was gonna ask, how does the screen compare to the Mark III?
A high resolution, and then of course, so then you can be very noticeable if you're sharp or not. And then the second one being the color backlight differences. Again, a request that we've gotten from other organizations and industries, being able to change that color backlight to make it warmer or cooler tone for whatever their own reasons in their workflow. You know, so that's completely different. That's a whole new mechanical feature on there
Okay, great.
that the predecessors don't have.
Autofocus point difference between the Mark III and the Mark IV.
61 focusing points. You're looking at basically what we have on the 1DX Mark II series, but the difference being that it covers a slightly wider area actually on this one. Yes, it's a little bit more vertically, a little bit more girth.
Okay.
Now it's not like, you know, edge to edge, but if you overlay the two, and actually I think on our Canon Live Learning website we actually showed overlay, it does increase just ever so slightly. It's a slightly greater range.
So like it's
And then you have the F8 that says capability focusing. So all 61 will work, and even at an F8 aperture lens. So we have like a 5.6 lens, you put a 1.4, you got an F8. On the older 5D series, older 70s cameras, it will not focus. You need at least a 5.6 capable light for it can actually autofocus. Now you can do it down to that F8. It can still autofocus.
What's the quality of the 4K screen capture?
Technically, if you want to compare it to, like, let's say, still you're looking at basically roughly an 8 megapixel, slightly over 8 megapixel image. If you look at HD and do the math, you're looking at about a 2 megapixel image. So hence the ongoing joke when I do my cinema class is no matter how big your LCD flat panel is at home, it's still nothing but an enlarged 2 megapixel image. You know, that's why a 65-inch HD looks really good when you're 10 feet away, and now when you're right up against it, right? It's just like a print. You're enlarging it.
But you could theoretically grab 60 frames per second at the 2 megapixels.
And that's exactly a function in the camera. You can actually do a frame grab. So you can actually shoot 4K, and then when you do playback, you can actually do a frame grab, and it will pull an 8 megapixel image from that moment. The only difference is if you're going to shoot that style, you got to have the right shutter setting and features, because if you shoot at a slower shutter speed, like for video, you're never going to have a fully sharp motion because of slower shutter. So if your goal is to shoot a model or a action shot and it's 4 prints, then you're going to be shooting at that faster 100, 250 shutter speed so that every frame is sharp. Yeah.